the measurables, it reminds me of another Arkansas quarterback from 20 years ago who became a first-round pick, and it was a stunner when it happened. Right. It was a first-round pick of the Jaguars. Do you remember his name?
Oh, well, Matt Jones, right? And Matt Jones, I used to work out with him. So, and here's a funny story, because he came up here to Jersey and trained in the place I trained at, which is a place that a lot of guys in the combine and the NFL still work out. And he was a freak of nature in his own right. But also within that, and you're going to like this story just real quick as we go through this, but yes, Taylon Green does remind you, same body type, right? Has athleticism that you'd go, that's receiver athleticism, let alone quarterback. But Taylon Green's a quarterback, and he does some things at quarterback where you go, ooh, that's pretty good. There's something there. Let's see what we can make this kid as we go. But here's one that you're going to love, all right? Just real quick on Matt Jones, because yes, it's rare to have, a white guy quarterback that goes to the combine and runs 4.3 and jumps through the roof and does that. That's rare. I mean, that's just say it is. But the 5-10-5, and I'm already in the NFL, but I'm coming home to train in the offseason a little bit, and they're like, we found a new trick on the 5-10-5 at the place I train at. And the place I trained at already had the fastest 5-10-5 people ever at the combine. Tim Dwight from Iowa, right? He trained at my place. Remember him, Mr. White Lightning, returned the kick for the Falcons against the Broncos in the Super Bowl. So he was there. But Matt Jones was, you had to put the poker on him a little bit. Like, hey, come on, let's work out today. Let's go. And he ran the 5-10-5 one time and never really stood up, just stayed crouched over and low to the ground. And I can remember the trainer and everybody looking at him going, what? And then we looked at the clock and he ran an incredible time. And it became a little bit like a thing with, stay low like Matt Jones. Don't hit the ground and then pop back up and run fast, right? Kind of stay low the whole time. He did it unintentionally, almost being somewhat lazy with the drill, but stumbled up upon something to where it's the way it gets taught now in most places when they talk about the 5-10-5. Just thought that was a funny story.
That is a good story. That's a Todd Monken level, Jason Garrett level story. Jason Garrett's always got a good story too. But that is a good story. And he was the 21st pick, Matt Jones was, in 2005, and just never – 2000. You go back and look at the first round of 2005. Other than Aaron Rodgers, there's a lot of swings and misses in the first round of the 2005 draft. And I was talking to somebody about this yesterday because – and
Cadillac Williams.
I try to I don't let it bother me anymore that all the coverage is about how great this guy is going to be in the NFL because it's part of their moment. Let them enjoy their night. Reality will arrive later. The reality is half of the guys who go on the first night of the draft are probably not going to work out for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's a bad fit. Maybe they weren't willing to put in the time. Maybe being a first-round pick was detrimental to them because they felt more entitled than motivated moving forward. For plenty of guys, it's better to fall to round 2 or 3 because then you got a chip on your shoulder and you're more determined to prove that you should have been drafted higher, and it shows in everything you do, and it culminates in great performances on the field. But that year, it was bad. And if you go back and look year by year, I mean, there are names that are just glaring. It's like, oh my God, what happened there? And it's just you don't find out with any of these guys. And that's the thing. We're as Jerry Jones would say, you're circumcising a mosquito from round 1 to round 2 to round 3. These are all guys who are going to get a chance to shine in the NFL. They're going to get a fair opportunity. It's a meritocracy. Once they're all thrown in the blender, and there are some political realities where, we did use a first-round pick on this guy. We bet, even though the 7th rounder is better, we probably should keep the first-rounder on the roster because we're going to look like morons if we cut the first rounder. Right. But still, when it comes to playing time, it's all merit-based. Or you're going to lose your job. You can't just continue to force, J.J. McCarthy onto the field without getting yourself fired at some point because you need to be willing to admit we just got this wrong. And it's okay to admit you got it wrong. Now, they don't want to admit it to their owner. And that's the thing about these draft picks. They act like, before they're used, that each one is $1 million winning lottery ticket. Even though history tells us when it's time to go scratch, you're getting bupkis far more often than you're getting the $1 million. But until you use it, you have to regard it as the one that could become the next great thing that transforms your career, like Patrick Mahomes did.
Exactly.
For Brett Veach in Kansas City. You get that one guy out of the class, that one or two or three guys out of the class that's on track for Canton, and you've secured your future for the next 5, 6, 10 years.
But yeah, there's just so many variables, right? There's so many things that go into it. Right? There's all those famous stories of like GMs going, the most nervous day of the year was the first OTA. You went out there with all the rookies and the veterans to go like, man, I hope my first rounder looks better than my third and fourth rounder, right? There's like all those stories where that's how the GM feels as he walks out in the field the first time. And yeah, the draft is an unexact science. I mean, it's humans, and we know humans are not exact. I mean, so yeah. And with all that variables as far as the human makeup, the physical makeup, putting him in a new place, new environment, can he handle it? All of that, that all kind of starts to, float to the top there when you get on a football team, and can you handle it? And of course, the draft itself, the first round can go either way. It can go, wait, team takes a chance on a guy because they see, there's some issues, but he does this one thing at such an elite level. We're going to take a chance on him, and we think we can fix all the other things, so that can lead to a bust. Or it can lead to, as we've seen the last 2 years, and we've heard this from other teams, they get into the conversation of, maybe we're not looking for that guy all the time. We're looking for the good all-around player that loves the sport, that we can trust, that's going to work hard. It's more about the high character. So, yes, that pick might work out, but at times they're going to get outshined by second and third rounders where people were like, man, that guy was a freak in the second or third round, but he had a few issues. He had one off-the-field issue, so he didn't, we didn't trust to pick him at pick 18 in the first round. That just was too risky. And so that's where it seems all over the place at times. That's why sometimes we have third rounders that look better than the 15th pick of the draft. Sometimes we have a bust at number 7 pick of the draft because you took a chance on something elite he did, and that's where it's awesome. That's why it's awesome, because you just don't know. Like you said, you might get Micah Parsons, you might get LT, and then you might get some bust that's not in the league 3 years after you draft him.
To put a button on the Taylon Green, Matt Jones conversation, Matt had a 4.37 in the 40. Green ran the 40, 4.36. Michael Vick, 4.33. So they are dangerously close to one of the fastest, most explosive quarterbacks we've ever seen. And by the way, Tim Dwight was part of the trade package from the Falcons to the Chargers that resulted in the Chargers sending the first overall pick to Atlanta that became Michael Vick in 2000.
Did Michael Vick run at the Combine, right? Did he run at the Combine? I don't remember him running at the Combine,
I don't know if he did.
Right?
All I know is 4.33 is the number that comes up. Google AI tells me 4.33, so it can't be wrong.
I think he was ever put to the test. I think he was one that never really ran because everybody was like, but every field he's on, he's the fastest. So,
hey. Yeah, AI overview on Google says Michael Vick's 2001 NFL Combine performance is legendary, featuring a blazing record-setting 4.33 second 40-yard dash.
I don't know why I can't
hope it's wrong.
Yeah.
Anytime I see anything AI generated, I'm like, please let it be wrong. Please let it be wrong, because we're trying to win the war with the machines. Did you see what I posted yesterday too? And I don't know if we talked about this. Like, there's concern among coaches and scouts that AI is going to supplant some of them.
Well, no
scouting
shit.
Functions.
No crap.
I had a GM tell me that you just press a button and you get these reports, and it's like, this is incredible.
Yeah. No,
and then you start thinking, I don't need this person. I don't need this person. I just got this little box, and boom, I hit the button. And here's where it becomes interesting, because one executive said that from a coaching perspective, the most vulnerable jobs are quality control, because think about what quality control does. It's human AI.
Yes,
it's
exactly
real.
Right.
It's real AI.
It's
go get me this, go get me that.
It's
put this together,
fill this in the
clips.
spreadsheet. Exactly right. That's what it is. Yes, that's what I did for the New England Patriots.
If you get rid of those people, like, that's the pipeline.
Yes.
To develop coaches.
Well,
that's the entry level.
Right.
That's how you find out who's willing to grind and who's willing to work and who loves it enough to sleep in the office and make peanuts right? But they can make even less if it's AI. It's not funny. It's scary to think of how it's going to completely overhaul our lives.
No, it is. It's crazy. I mean, we're watching it happen right in front of us. And what I would say, if we get too far down that road, it'll just mess teams up. AI, sure, it's got some benefits, but can it really know a guy and know a person and be in a room with them and get the same feel? No. Just like analytics AI, all right, that analytics bullshit, all right. We're going to listen to that no matter what the situation is. We're listening to analytics, okay, and that's why a lot of your asses lose and go home because you listen to that. You listen to a formula instead of your gut or what your eyes are seeing on the football field during a Sunday afternoon. So there's some beauty to it, yes, but it's not the end-all, be-all. And the human touch, the human feel, the being able to look into a guy's eyes, get a feel for their personality. As we talked about last week, we saw a bunch of guys that were 6'3", 250 who were not built the same. Is AI going to be able to tell me that one guy's ass was bigger and his hamstrings are bigger? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. If it gets there, then I'll certainly give it this credit for what it can do there.
I just think there's a time in the not-too-distant future when a head coach is on the sidelines trying to make a decision about what to do on fourth down. He's going to have Siri or Alexa telling him in his headset what to do. It's not going to be a human voice. It's going to be an AI program that tells him, and it will have taken in every possible factor, everything, including a snowstorm is coming. Because it sure seems like in Denver, one side didn't anticipate what was coming later in the game, and the other side did. And it all comes down to the quality of the AI, but you just keep feeding more stuff into it, and it takes more into account. Chris, I could see an AI program that is actively analyzing the patterns during the game, just like we see coaches and players do with tablets.
Yeah.
There will be machine learning of the trends during the game, and the strategizing could come down to who's got the better machine.
You're right. We'll see who's got Grok, who's got Claude, who's going to work better, what team's going to be better. I don't know.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.